say polio say in baby baby eradicate inti eno no primary prevention and also na bi hokra apomodin ehu nneoma a obeye no etimi bua e de prevent disease. Then your secondary prevention no say ye when you are but in drew stage clinically obvious say doctor for betimi hu a diagnose you into your really show home but a very fairness starting into no it involves early detection say you hu your no very early in its stages a fairness started crying ye hu na fe ya sha say be treaty abra wunya symptoms bia wunya ensure bibia so was ayare no eno no boa ema ebe slow down the yare progress yare ntimi ntoa so enko nanim ana say a bit ma stop in a cry ebi ne say ye breast cancer screening ana say ye colorectal cancer screening no form yare ana say so cancer ye be screening meka ho asem eno me no bebre no screening na meka ho asem no bebre no centered on the secondary prevention and the last part na tertiary prevention no so yare no aba na de ya na se beboa ama ye be reduce chances say be beji wato ayare sabia ana say ye be reduce chances say ubewu inti obi ti se obi a wanya heart attack na ye fa so ne amano aye exercise bi if you try to say cardiac rehab ye ma waye and your exercises bi a ebebo ebe prevent say ubese nya heart attack ni bi ma na say ubetimi survive yare na wanya no inti those are the three types of prevention yenim so the me me focus mainly on the secondary prevention no. Okay. Na yeka screening ye be ansana ye be approve say ye screening bibi no na ye nim say adekro ye screening no yarekro na ye screening no se utimi hu ni ntema ebeboa amana wa prevent say nipa kro no be ebenya ho yare na na say obewu every home. The best part is keep it me prevented death. So screening corona yede and yede prevent you. Na fe yes I prevented say unya unkoda ayarasabia bit me treating in them. Na fe another a year I was a screening a bian MT a was a safe. Na fe a acceptable. Na fe easy say on sabit me aka. Into ye safe no ye say ye francophobia see screening on my ni say a cause of more problems. I feel so ebia nkofo ye tu omasi ho so mbehwehwehwe screening equipments mu no so mu agiatum se sa adekro na would be screening no e was say acceptable inti your core regulations mo e was say timi meet certain standard na afin so ne bo no so ni say abodin bebre because abodin akofo bebre ntimi nya na akoha adwen. Fa America has a sources of screening guidelines no be but most people no na you focus call primary care doctor or and I say call hospital doctor or better can screening what's a match will be na busy ne recommendations no either from United States Preventive Services Task Force. The number one key a year you follow guidelines pa. And I think so American College of Physicians almost guidelines I doctor for a follow, especially primary care physicians a follow. And Emergency Care Research Institute also screening guidelines. There are other bodies are almost guidelines are only very specific to at the corner or your body or maybe American Diabetic Association or my guidelines on diabetes, and I say American Heart Association or my guidelines on akomayare. But generally, your mom guidelines na catch across na ASR and conform yes amabo omudin. Ade ba kwa edika ye hu hia pa was say is screening depression and anxiety. Unfortunately for us as Ghanaians ne Africans na yenta enka adwemu yare ho asem bebre nti ya ebi ho ahihye nkofo ho ye hu se depression ne anxiety no wo sa yare mienu ya emma se wo yare foforo bi eka ho a Emma ubre and san waiting to say arena say. Esa lead to multiple complications of say we are corona when you say for instance, your diagnosis say when you kumayare when you heart attack near ko the stent akosha wakumemu na afi unya depression ka ho a anase obi a wonya stroke so unya depression ka ho no ye treat a ebe ma stroke no ama ekunentem ebe ma obe ne ho nheda entoni yi papa afi ontimi nya nneoma ebe boa ma yare no anka obitimi di atena se a obitimi atena se kama but ebe ma ekunentem enti screening for depression and anxiety ade a ehu hia yi pa nti obi a no US PSTF suggest say all adults yefa pregnant women ene omo ma wo foforo nyina we see screen obi a for depression na questions me no etabusa ye de me be me hu say why you screening no we depressed and also when you depressed no the first question say na what you mean we twa mu yi we feel say we are hopeless and now we feel so down and now we feel say we are so depressed. The second question say just say what lose interest and I say you don't really have interest in a lot of the things that you used to love to do. So answer in yes to any of these two questions are ebe prompt your doctor na manaka ko screening more into no ebe more extensive screening questions nti be busa questions be brain how often no ye busa depressed how I would feel hopeless na ebe more skill say very hopeless e be multiple times in a week and I say e be just every other day in a week and nti a year criteria ye be so ebusa questions nti the more now answer no ni akeka abom ti ka bom na drew setting a year ye be ka say okay be awo moderate depression and also with severe depression I was say ye sha say be fa ho nti depression ne anxiety screening ya dey be here ye pass okọ annual visits was say at least so doctor ne busa some of these questions because recommended say ye be busa sa. The next idea you can have some diabetes. Diabetes is so common. You can a year before the case Ghana for a case area. So most of the types I are near I can have some type 2 no say be a when you need cancer na unya sa diabetes no because your body no intimate process insulin na wo wankasa odi peduanim senke betimi carbohydrate near the wodi na nke betimi aboa ama etimi process ne kama no insulin no ntimi enye sa ebi o ha produce enough and I say they were producing no body na resist to it. Diabetes yadia implicated in a lot of conditions so inkofunya heart attack omunya stroke omunya kidney disease. Most people know diabetes is one of the risk factors munya sayare nti se wutimi screening now prevent ya idea hu hia yi pa ana se wutimi buana wa amana slow down the progress of your diabetes and I say wutimi stop the progress of it that is all the better. Now United States Preventive Task Force na ka say ye obi a wodi 35 to 70 years biara oye overweight and also you obese you can't overweight no obesity ho asem se wo sa o follow within sa I was say at least you screening nti I was say measure wo moja na ehwe o fasting glucose level and as your EBFN A1C I was say a test nti se wo follow within this category na say you test o sa da at least bomodia na ma doctor and also be obetima test will be and test na wetimi ehu said be ya obetima prevent a year before especially risk factor for having diabetes na hypertension high and be mu no ya ni intend treating ye nti ema ye kunya kidney failure na fe or say we were high to dialysis so any other nti ye momodia sa we no American Diabetes Association for more adwin kire and you different. Omo say they will recommend screening to be performed in any patient of any age who are overweight or obese and have one or more risk factors for diabetes. Into no for age bia ensure was 35 to 70 years. But obia now risk factor maybe bossy. Until one of the risk factors say first degree relative, mami and our papa na unuya our ben will diabetes. The second one, say, high risk race. In Americans, African Americans say, yeah, high risk. Until say, no, no matter your age, so you're obese and now you're overweight in quad, but more than I check your blood sugar at least once. No, who say, where you know, uni diabetes. Until the other risk factors here, or blood pressure, or cholesterol. Or a friend polycystic ovary syndrome, bioha ne ovaries na wodi nkusuane wo mu na aya insu ahyehyehye ho bebre eno no so na wo say you screening for diabetes afi obi a wo physically inactive on movie around yeah recommend say obi a obey at least 30 minutes of exercise a day inti for ultimi 150 minutes a week very good. No, so no, what went me and that kind of activities. No, that means that you are physically inactive. And yet, and yes, will be or but so went me and the recommended activity in a day, and I say in a week now. That means we are physically inactive. And a biomun so ubia or ye kaka bibri chain or severe obesity and the kaka data. And I feel be you know. I need sent me and go for insulin diabetes or sugar levels and cholesterol. Into your friend gestational diabetes. Most of the time, no, even more we are not diabetes neko. But also no American Diabetes Association I was say also screening for diabetes. Inti omo twice I can almost say all adults beginning at age 35 years. And no the only risk factor bia krana regardless of risk factors and repeating screening at inti obia who did 35 years bia I was here starting according to American Diabetes Association I was here starting year screening near repeated screening at 3 years interval. Inti ye test on us who say especially you see A1C no na say A1C no was through I was screening annually be was through but in due time I be diagnosed say when ya diabetes and cancer and on your friend pre-diabetes and on you see screening annually but you diagnosing who's a diabetes there and on they will screening a different and on the affiliate screening will be near a treat you and cancer. High blood pressure. And also, akomayare, one of the number one risk factors are EMA and Kofuo inya problems with akomayare, omunya stroke, omunya heart attack, omunya kidney disease. High blood pressure. High blood pressure, the man you say a show until say I too late. Sometimes so one could check here. Mouse on Kaibia. Ubi hard time a born in Kaya and a stroke ne diamane. Inti and also ya be here ye pass ye be pay attention to blood pressure cuff say Costco say Walmart to say to machine no now how they waiting their measure but say ultimately correlating to be our doctor there na and no boy said be who say me checking say and then me doctor there similar. Inti USPSTF no omo recommend say obi already 18 years it could be I was see screening for high blood pressure. I think so. I was say screening annually. Ubi over 40 years. Could be I was see screening. Afibia say unyanya high blood pressure and kwandi was see screening. But when you're there, I need a different screening. No, and I can say see screening near diagnosis of high blood pressure there. Then what do you need? Are they making and cover? I was say they follow no much more frequently now. No medruna now will check our blood pressures. But so we are younger, we searching 40 years. But so our risk factors are medical so through now, or cholesterol or through we obese, or diabetes no more. And no dear, I was say even unyan 40 years, I was here screening for high blood pressure account because the number 2 cause top 2 causes of kidney disease are leading to say omobara kunya de ombako to dialysis so say or high blood pressure and it's all diabetes. Into we na American Heart Association or more recommended say ube screening will be and blood pressure ebro 120/80 at least ube screening annually. So anti the making no say we higher risk nkwade any who screening be much frequent. Into almost 3 to 6 months bia na was screening. So risk no ewo form nkwade and no de obitimi aspacing it out na why na every year. So you check out blood pressure na bro 130 to bro 130 corner and no was screening more frequently and no na you doctors ni ya score be a calculate yes calculate ka ho na say bro sa number 10% na I will say screening much more frequent inti yen fantu yetimu pa say unyanya blood pressure high blood pressure na say family member will be or high blood pressure I will say we test screening annually. Obesity na me kan ho asem no na me say kan biom no obesity e ade a che say say America and Europe they classify and say epidemic because in bebre nam ho no omo eso chain said e was think omo weight no omo height na e match say weight no height bro said e was say see ne so a that means say o ya enya increased risk say ubetimi enya akomayare diabetes ayeka ho asemu strokes afi cancer ene yare bebre na de obesity ne nam e kwan be na e fa so calculate ye BMI ya tell you see the ubetimi a check your weight ugina a weight machine so e na ya appropriate say ube check no similar times in a day until we ha obe person obedidi awie and say onyandidi and power sorry onyandidi na kwa check until let you say ujana na awie na check ya bibia anse den ni that's ne light dry weight na o check ne sa na wa check o height in the other instances especially unyini unfie no eko anima o height in change kese until sad you know o check na ubo BMI calculator or phone so ebe show apps here and you can just put in the numbers no we put it in and no be calculator ma say no man be na IF4 so BMI no bro 30 per that is all your obese say bro 25 but in drew 30 you can say you overweight below 18 now we underweight. Say BMI no bro 25 per we overweight until we are really be na ekeka no also predisposition say ubitima hakunya high blood pressure and diabetes nti say unyan obese zone and say we free but the air can say was obo hu ye say we ya won drew sa obesity range say greater than 30 no ade BMI I was say screening your friend osteoporosis say udom pay mu week and no na nkofo bebre ntan ka ho asem papa but hu hia ye pa because nkofo bebre omunya falls na fi onya hip ni dom pay mu boof hip fractures near that na because of say omo calcium e wo bones no ye swati na fi amomo sa osteoporosis no nti we no USPSTF ne American College of Gynecology so munyina jitum say oba bia wedi 65 years ekobia no e was say yes chance say be screening for it your risk assessment score bia you see it is 65 now I call hospital and I say wo mama bi was 65 years na yen screening no sade na na better say ube ma ne primary care physician aya aware na say umotimi screening no. Until we know a member, the are entire general guidelines for say be screening member maybe 65, but or baby or 65, it could be a when you need and I will say you screening for osteoporosis. I think infectious diseases, and no, the a Christopher, they can't say, oh, you'll see if you from sexual activities near that in Indiana. yentang embo so papa, but USPASTF no more recommendation and name say we Christian and I say we Christian and I will show who ya and I saw who ye omo the ma general population into the omo can say ubia I was say is screening for chlamydia and gonorrhea ubia or sexually active age 24 years or younger, because that population ubia union these 24 years now omo they have more high risk sexual activities into ubia union the 24 years no. Yeah, was he screening or baby was he screening for gonorrhea and chlamydia. Now, you should any how frequent we should be repeating, but so nipakono ne or high risk sexual activity, and that's what was name different people then also increase the chances. Inti or mama no you bet me to a say but see when you're sexually active a better say obey screening, because see you in term I prevent say nipakono being problems with fertility, because unya say I ran and treating the year and I am treating in term I bet me affect fertility in the future. Okay. And HIV screening, so you can say one-time screening for BR 15 to 65 years, and regardless of risk, because say HIV yarea you in term near chassis treat here, you bet me where levels number from viral levels number from cry and to the sense so you can live normal. Into air near bohu de rupai with some time no be big but with time na say in time can was in be premium, but now say it's most sexually transmitted diseases are on the rise, especially in the United States, because of increase in high risk behaviors and conformity engaging in. It's not recommendation if I must say be a adult be within this 15 to 65 years of age, at least a one-time screening. Now obi krum ha bia even Ghana kra no you be check HIV nti pregnancy one way nkofo unya enyem ya call primary care physician where so I check it that even before prior pregnancy in kra they will check again. All right, minim say makasa bebre after screening ho the next screening na ye ba be koso no say screening for cancers. And on ayana, and the ta a screening was in bia and on a body. In him say a program a women ministry into a mano a baby no was no the say was in baby breast cancer. Breast cancer screening is very important because you say breast cancer now you in tema because it me some type of the breast cancer it may reach a curable rate. It may a cure you took breast cancer as a cry. Inti here see a screen here home. A hanona different societies with different guidelines. But there was a this shade pa ne say generally say we free in 40 years kodia. I was say unya some form of breast cancer screening. American Cancer Society, say between 40 to 44 years no. Ubetimi any doctor adwendwen ho na afema discuss say ubetimi screening with mammogram. From 45 the doctor no be recommend say shall say a man mammogram. It's not even mostly na entire discussions na more of recommending that to you. And a free 55 years econo. Omo can say pair ubitimi biennial screening mammography with the opportunity to continue screening annually every year. Omo kase initial performing clinical breast examination in this age range no. Another year and also a little bit controversial because different societies they recommend, especially American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Omo say after 40 years no, ubetimine obanaka akasa afa, and you can actually offer them a clinical breast examination. Inti waba hospital no be examine the breast. I say lamp bi woma I was say bibia. And now between age 50 to 75 years in the American obstetricians, the Omoka say was he screening annually and I said biannually. Now, a more of a shared decision. Into your risk any year near who say, oh, okay, would your risk a high so bit many breast cancer or more risk a high so many breast cancer you'll be a or first degree relative in the family mu ne maame ana ne nua ma bi enya breast cancer or no risk a high into for no omo bit was say you screen omo differently I think so we have a radiation treatment that breast area so and also a bit may increase with chances of having a breast cancer. And usually a ma or more I'm breastfeeding and man going term so no and also and also the work a crab so there is some risk of because the more now we produce breast milk a reduce or risk of cancer but saa nneɛma yɛkeka no nyinaa na yɛ nneɛma nketenkete a ɛkeka bom a ɛna ɛma wo risk na yɛ high nti ɛwɔ sɛ ɔne wo physician discuss saa ade nti generally ɔma ɔmaka no nyinaa no is centered around the ages 40 ɛkɔ no ɛwɔ sɛ wɔhyɛ ase sɛ wobɛ discuss if you 50 years ɛkɔ deɛ you have to like you ɛnyɛ negotiable koraa wobɔ mmɔden negotiable because yɛntumi force wo nyɛ but it will be recommended sɛ ɔbaa biara wɔ saa age no bɛ obey mammogram. All right. Yeah, and see, there is some caution. Say most man, approximately 50% of women a dense breast. Into mammography na mammogram no might record it in a way you think say oh maybe if a breast cancer but a radiologist develop a scoring system be a first one it may categorize it say risk based on that it be recommend further tests at the amount into say it is you say oh we are diagnosed but doctor no radiologist be communicate na fe o metimi apebibie ahwe system I be boa ye be toa so e etimi diagnose you afi me free breast cancer so na me call colon cancer so you very common say na say I enche the Black Panther actor unya a rectal cancer and this is becoming more because before high risk of having such cancers and we try one screening in term or no I think I feel no early I've forgotten the age but no you're very young into it's been even pushed say yang screening much earlier. American College of Physicians, they almost recommend say screening for colorectal cancer from age 50 to 75 years. But now, United States Preventive Service Task Force recommend they say you must start even from 45 years now you're screening because there has been some benefits and these are some of the things. I say first, you need options of screening for colon cancer. They just you colonoscopy. As a camera befa which is na ya hwe wonsuno mu ahwe say cancer ni bi wo ho but you say you need options bebre yes stool based say bi uja wana ya ye test bi ye de be ma on ye de tumor ye be say oh eboa na say emboa nti uno doctor discuss here ubetimi ayes anime invariably na say test na say ekoye ye the stool ne test na ekoye positive nko ade then you will have to do a colonoscopy but obi ha obey colonoscopy no person obe go through that process no nti this is a kind of a first line ye be say ye na ye screening na negative all the better but say na a positive nko ade then we have to go ahead and do the colonoscopy for you. Okay. Na yeba another Maya radium cervical cancer. At a certain point in a very common because any in screening. But your chance say screening from 21 to 65 years. Every 3 years, you be pap smear into you call doctor or now gynecologist or be your test. Say uye nesana or more HPV testing or the kahua. And no dear after age 30 years, no, you bit must spreading it out every 5 years, So yeah, kind of say, say who hear you pa because especially in cervical cancer, it's the most common cause sexually transmitted disease. And because younger people more sexual activity, sex life, very more intimate and sure more so into a more high risk sexual activities. Into chances say obetimi apeke HPV virus no ama ebetimi ama no cervical cancer no high into any start to say you see pap smear test na for de screening for na be cancel for to kind of check their risk no more you hun in tema you bit me treaty enkofa biamba but you hun na too later sometimes no bit me kum nipa krono enti omo kase obi a why hysterectomy there you don't need to especially see a remove your cervix na unless before see his hysterectomy who say with cervix no and our odie na cancer ashase ba hono sane there you hu ne sa there and there we may have to repeat screening but yes there then obi a why hysterectomy no there you don't have to do cervical cancer screening. The Mesaka was a lung cancer, and only most of the time, SDF for Munoyana and can was because yen smoky. But we were in previous life, I know before so be no smoking tea. A comma sign pacrono say United States Preventive Service Task Force recommended lung cancer screening with annual CT scanner. Will be already 50 years to 80 years. When you smoky, you accumulate with smoking years now, because when you're 20 pack year history, say it is even say what jaya, unless you jaya na bro 15 years. So ujaya smoking na bro 15 years, that is fine. But say nyandru 15 years there, any or see screening because you say it me lung cancer in term. And also no, the earlier you see it, no, the better you'll be able to manage and the easier you'll be able to, because I spread it echo brain more and I spread it echo different parts of your body pay. Then I'd say nah, I too late. Inti minim say na bobo screening and yoma be brave so na me hope say ebia obi or questions and bibisa na ebeboa ama ebia ma explain further there was a yakaka ho inti may open floor no for any questions or comments.
Doctor, yada si bebre wo adesua eti say a ode amaye. Ya menkoso nshira obebre. Adofo Yonkodoradio so nti akire obi pese osa akotie bie mu a obetumi akọ Yonkodoradio e wo YouTube akwa akotie ni na anaso obesend link na ma obi na ono so akwa akotie bi na ehu hia pa ebeboa yeye. Said the doctor aka no so obi wo asembisa bia anase mmoa bi anase concern bia obetumi di aba.
Yo mami yadawasi. Na me question na midi kan bi san say doctor can be efa BMI ho. Na me bisa say sa BMI no afi bia obedi no ese say ukona ye shan tan bia wa ope manuesi.
Very good question. Yeah, so BMI now the work rabbit mark calculate to fee into just a easy way to calculate. And I call hospital has most of the EMR now you using computer now you using unyako hospital near check unyako or primary care ne office, doctor's office. Na omo check weight, no omo check height, automatically na ebe check ebe ma BMI no. Inti eno no eboa ma easy say ye betimi ahwe so na afi yede a calculate amount. Se BMI no ehya se ebro 30 years. Ye wo eyi bi a score bi a ye see ye ade ba kwa na BMI kese a ye worried about your friend is sleep apnea. Sleep apnea ye nkofo omoda na se omo home ne jai at once. Into oda hwa na se ne home nti bia obi wa ho ne ira na ne kunu da hwa na ne home na a stop it. Se ye hwe sa de corner entry mawa na say bia obi wa was a man of CPAP, a man of oxygen fufro na bibisa etimima a sudden death. One of the causes ASR and increase with chances of having like a lot of the diseases are mabosono. But the other who pay will be hobinya sudden death or hana usizi breathing I will how inti means back biom. Inti ye and no a good CB screening no. Into question idea one catabet screening will BMI at any time. So we na say a cost rad ya na eboa ne say so we na overweight ni ma na as a fe wo ye exercise more o ti waduane ne so o ti a fat a wodi bebre so o ti carbohydrate ne so kakra say the be boa o na on toa so enkoye ebia wontwen ku se afe fofra be call doctor ho ansa na wo hu say umo idudodo into wow wait now to me check here it's all the better.
Yo, Dr. Medas Bebre.
And idea ba kwa make man can same bebre. I think say my dream me say more a be more and man a be wasunti. Na me narrow down. But prostate cancer, idea and also no you test it, you screening with a PSA. And no the mass say exactly say yes African Americans ye risk of having prostate cancer and no high. Your prostate cancer be we pick it during autopsy. Inti nipa krona wuawie no enya no kwa ne kun no. Inti abrofo no mu de most of the time my recommendation am because oh you really don't have to check the PSA until say be away 50 years and now call him. And I say a family member will be in cancer. But you buy be before unfortunately because one you need good family history. Obi wu a family man. Either say because he duabo and I say ye hu ade kro kun no nti unim say cancer le kun no say den yo no man be bre na ye share abaifo ana duabo nti we don't have good family history nti ukra unim say bia nipa owu ye ntemu e bia na ye because onya prostate cancer na say ne prostate cancer na dangerous nti no ne ma ye de ne ye a little bit tricky nti in that sense no it's advisable say we start a screening no much earlier until we will have 50 years and at least 45 years econo we shall say no doctor na discuss the risk and the benefits until we have o family history mu say bia nkofo ewu emema ewu mu ne wu ntema that's one of the things that you have to consider.
Dr. Yeda Sibebre wo inchichi mo a odi ama me pama cho say asembusa foforo bi wo ho a ye twen foforo no doctor me so ma asembusa ne say who can about young people no minim say me refika ka say gonorrhea
yes
na awofo no omunim enkora no ne omo ye say omo ye sexual better na awo ye tumi ehu na say drew certain age bi a was regardless your yes test na say then be my hu it does.
Yeah, very good. It drew a certain age regardless. I was say omokoye sa test no because a difficult say nipa kron be catch especially you say umano or be feel say ube catch or yakraboni inti to say medical ka gonorrhea ne chlamydia ho asem into obiana because who say nipa kron is sexually active so or say 16 years and I say 18 years and 20 years unim ninti no na ye can say at least from 18 years the legal age enkofotimi a worry and also more 16 years in some countries. Ghana say a legal age obitimi any obema ne obai shame 16 years so to me consent to sex. Inti say or this our age na ubetimi asha say ube screening no. So unim na say bia, I mean there is a level of trust for why and on there at least I don't know the thing about those cancers is a little bit slower so nipakoni so unini ya na in grow fast inti uma on 18-19 years now then call oko just a regular visitor ubetima encouraging say o me screening for this yare regardless of ne history but say or insist on yedia then no na cervical cancer especially say there and no say even if you are a virgin crying now age na you kind of you still have to be screened into a general guideline recommendation but so betimi I encouraging the people say and yes I won't trust in there but on screening na but most of the time because especially chlamydia and gonorrhea purely sexually transmitted disease in intino. Se nipa kono truly only be mention mu that eno de hu hia say better. Pacho me cheche mu na clear.
Pacho enti emu aye enti ase ada ho pa ti se de awofo se ne wo kan kra no wo fa furo na se wo call hospital ye be ye HIV test se enene nyina kwa kokra ye be ye HIV test nti no ye be encourage wo mo se ngese wo di bone se ne wo kana ye da se bebre me pa ma cho so fufuro bi wo ho a ye wo mre kakra
yo doctor say doctor can say senior sexually transmitted diseases now apart from say mami bi Asian baby a watu kwan na so ohunu na so kisinu a eno so betumi akoso saa na
okay it ubisa se be cause HIV and say sexually transmitted disease in general. Hello.
Now me bisa say yes a sexually transmitted disease.
Okay.
And more can I more can say to say be a ukisi obi kra obenya bi na bisa say mami bi wo bi na say ne ba bi atukwan na ohun na che na okisi no a ebetumi amananya bi ana.
Very good question. Inti you didn't say kissing you different mouth to mouth be ho be free na from ho and anti and very specific but me sure say the all can you say be or your mouth to mouth kissing say nipa ko ni cat a active cat and as I saw a crow one na numu at that time or dear chances sell benya through that na very limited into because most of the time the virus na so unya utimi hold on to a surface a open surface into say open surface na cat bi wo ho no ma na bibisa wo ho dia then ebetimi atwa so amana kunya yare ni bi ena ebiomu no so na ta say nipa no ne viral load because say viral load no enye nisru bebre dia na entire ni to say fluid intestinal say unless a viral load no very high and then the be war intestinal bebre but and also so nipa no be ya obe show so yare pa enti the short answer to the question is say and you're likely unless any pacono ever cat na feel the other person or the man on the viral load near very high and you know so they bit me ama no yare no and this are the most likely a year yetiminya HIV ni free me say either say conform you see needle almost share needles and I say actual sexual intercourse because a bit me afra semen in HIV virus and bit our semen you know and none very very common but through kissing there unless a very like nipakono or cat a bit me a man sir and I say something similar say if viral load near very high, and also no bit me. Yes, but and the most common way of transmission.
That's bebree. Openyi Ghana mpacha obetumi aba.
Actually, it was question or very similar. No, me pere be a doctor there, especially with HIV. About the risk, no, they consider other than just sexually, because we know the case of at Ash. In the case, on anything related to sex and all those, but onya HIV na eventually to AIDS. In the risk na they no they consider. And the second it relates to them PPV vaccine na what the member from an about risk in them vaccine na what the member from or involved in a helper or eventually.
Hey, yeah, very good questions. Into HIV risk, other risks aside sexual transmission, no, more of say maybe I will share needles and I will share sharp objects, and also we are a health worker na or be na injection like or more be a drew na wako inject on one home. Inti the other common things are for me through that no HIV, and I say be obinya cats or be already when your cat one ne body and chair na fi emoja obi HIV moja as for whatever through certain ways or by into contact with obi HIV moja. Inti generally no health workers is almost a risk no a little bit high because will be na say a moja ni mo say when your cat be skin na say ni moja no a cat no ho a ebetimi aya another way I'll betimi enya. Into those are the really common ones. Their candidate risk ni very very low. Entirely possible, but obi oha the immune system already never form. And then nipa corona or no HIV no ebi on the viral load near very high. Inti say no sa no viral load near high. Just say moja bi abefe bia no HIV ni bio. Inti sa no de wow immune system will form now while you're exposed to obi an HIV no blood no viral load no high no there then ubetimi enya. First no so na another way and confoding blood transfusions. But say no, you screening no so well say a very difficult and it's almost negligible say ubi betimi HIV through blood transfusion. And most of the the exposure no the common risk factors are betimi more of say in a sexual relationship or say we'll share needles and I say be exposed to maybe as a health worker and bibisa and I say even outside health worker no be when you're HIV no or blood be in contact with abra or open cut and an open wound.
Yeah. Now
HPV vaccine, very good. And the HPV vaccine, no, it's kind of been studied really extensively, and people have had a vaccine, especially what a Krum has said, our vaccine now, they've lived their lives without any and most of the time, no, it's a vaccine, no, especially those vaccines now, they were during screenings near there, then you did try to prevent diarrhea. No, and yet they go through emergency authorization. In that sense, no, you share that steady population, and sana yawo or more with the vaccine. No, there hasn't been a very significant or known side effect. Unless it's just a general side effect with any vaccine, or vaccine just a little mild fever and aches kakra, then that's it. But antisapa and I said the area a vaccine on the slight reaction. But antisapa now, most of these vaccines now have been really studied extensively, and the FDA has a very high bar for approval of some of the vaccines. No, relatively safe, and side effects are very minimal.
Yeah, that's super.
Me pacho ofufuro bi wo question bi anya sa de a ye de adesua ni nyina eba wiye na doctor wa boni nyina tofa amaye ye beda wase pa adofo Dr. Nathanael Kyeremeh na yete ne nka no oni ne ho adaje kra na ya hana na enne wanya adaje amaya wa ba beboaye. So Dr. Nyame hira opa enim se da bia ye beto yen safre obia no Queens District obeba no aba beboaye na ewe ya pomudi emu. Nyame hira obebre ye to aso da Yonkodoradio so ase Yonkodofo nyame nkoso nhyira mu bebre obi a wa amaso ntem wa metie beginning anase opeso ode emma obi no okotie no obetumi ade link na mana na so obeka chi dipa na menakọ Yonkodoradio no no so akwakotie the whole program ewo Yonkodo ewo YouTube nyame hyira nyina so se ye ba betie ye Dr. Mpacho bojumedie ni nyina to fama ye na se wanu si a yen sofo maami Felicia Pia Kubi Mpacho no abompa ye hira dwumadie so amaye nyame hira nyina.
All right, yo, and I made them say, say, motomo safre me say minimum make us emphasize the way home. Say the kai no screenings ARD bia here yipa because a boy me hu ya rebi intem na fe ya stop progress of the arena na see ya slow it down. And mubusa a lot of more questions yes, so great questions further it made me clarify some points. Inti yemfa wow me bubo ages no wow fall within no dear more than yen go through these screenings because a boy pa we shall say 50 years say life begins at 40 but that time no na fe was say so why you're conscious about your health in tema you have to at least you don't have any option than to pay attention more closely to your health after age 40. But the year can na said this kind of age bia no yenya kakra wo mu no ye pese ye sha se e ma ya pomodin no start free right from birth no and crane be focus on say e be mo omo apomodin en chechre ene ne o me be boa omo ama omo betimi anyini no ma be ye panipa because yetimi prevent yare na e benya more time say ye be fellowship with each other ye benya more time to evangelize and spread the gospel said in yakopon e pese ye no ti de me dbc ano no
Yo pastor yeda say doctor yeda say mpamacho mo ma ye mompai yeda wase yensu di mafuna na nyame sa yo pene nwi wode wo ma ebe hye mu say metie apomudin sem yeda wase say wode wakwa fm ye ahodin bi a wahwe ne dwumadie mu ne so se Kristo be hye na ma ye se ne be ya next time ye friend na obetimi aba ya ye besue so ma ye nsua keke na emu yemfa nya adwuma se de be ya ye benya apomuden ne etimi ede asomu yi bra ye frɛ de akwa Kristo so se na otwi ahyase tutuma na monsi de ekron mana otwi ye nti asemboni bia na otwi san kohyia ebetu ye ne anti asenkaboni bia de na ase ni kabia ma we na ese wanwumre ewo Yesu Kristo dem nti amen.
Amen.
amen
Amen. Amen.